Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are making this dress and we are drafting directly on the fabric. So we shall take our vertical measurements. We take 10 inches, that is for the bust measurement, 13 inches, that's my under bust, 16 inches, that is my waist, shoulder to waist, and then 24 inches, that is shoulder to hip. Then the dress will be as long as that. I'll cut off later. So I put in those lines. Bear with me, my tailor chalk is not so good. So you have to bear with me and listen to what I'm saying. So we make all those lines, the vertical lines from shoulder going down. So we are going to mark our starting point on our pattern. So we are going to make our neckline. I made my neckline a little bit deeper because I will not have a zipper. I made it 5.5. Then going down, then I made it by 3 inches. Yeah, 5.5 by 3 inches. Yeah, so my shoulder measurement is 7.5. How do I get it? I got 15 divided by 2. I got 7.5. So I come down with 1 inch to make the shoulder slope, and after that I'll make chest line. Chest line is 2 inches above the bust line, or you can make your bust, divide your bust by 6 plus 1.5 inches. So I make that chest line there and I connect to the shoulder slope. So I'm going to make my neckline with my chalk. You can use your curved ruler or you can use your free hand as I've done, or you can do that. Yeah, you can use your curved ruler. So if you have a curved ruler, better. So I'm going to also make my shoulder slope. I've already marked it like that. Yeah. So I'm going to take on my chest line my bust measurement, divide by 4, and then add 1 inch for the sewing allowance. Remember, if you're drafting directly on the fabric, remember the sewing allowance always, because if you don't remember it, the dress will not fit. So I went on also on my waistline, marked waistline, divide by 4 plus 1 inch for sewing allowance. I did the same on my hip line. My hip divide by 4 plus 1 inch sewing allowance. Then I went to the end of my dress and I also took the measurement the same as the hip line. So I connected those points, the waist to the hip, to the chest line, to the length of the dress, like that. My chalk is not so visible, bear with me. So I go on that line and measure halfway of it to make an armhole. Yeah, and then I go in on the halfway point of that line by 0.5 inches to make an armhole. So I use my curved ruler or pattern maker to make that armhole there. The armhole connects to that middle point and then connects to the chest line. Yeah, those points you made on the chest line. So bear with me, it's not so clear. Then we are going to carve out on the hip line because we don't need sharp points. So we cut out like that. That is our front fabric. Yeah. So we are going to draft our back and we shall use the front to make the back. So you're going to get your front and put on the fabric to make the back. Make sure you leave at least 1.5 or 2 inches zip allowance. Yeah, though I will not use a zipper, but I will leave that. there. So on my back, I'm going to use a neckline of 1 inch. So you've seen me carve it there. I used my eyes to to make it. So I'll trace out the back, yeah, leaving the 1.5 inch sewing allowance. I also used my eyes. I did not calculate it. So I cut out my back like that. I used my front. You can see that there is that space remaining. That is our zip allowance, but I'm not going to use it actually. But I'm going to carve in a little bit to remove bulge in my dress. You know, when you don't carve in a little bit, it brings bulge. So you mark the middle point, the waist, and carve in a little bit inwards on the waist area to prevent bulging of the dress in the back. So that's why I went in on the waistline a little bit. Yeah. So I will sew that part because I'm not going to use it. And even if you're going to use it, maybe you're going to use an invisible zipper, you can sew it. Yeah. So I'll sew it first so that it will not confuse me. So after sewing, I opened it up. That's what we have in the back. Then we are going to get our front piece and join on the shoulder line. Meanwhile, yeah. So we join the shoulder line alone. Most times I love joining the shoulder line and maybe join the sleeves before joining the whole dress on the seams. So I'll join my shoulder line at that point. So let's do our sleeves first. Yeah. So I'm going to get my long sleeve pattern. There is a video on how to do a short and long sleeve on this channel. You can check it out. So I have a long sleeve pattern there. I'm going to divide it into 3 parts like you see me doing there. So after that, I'll just cut it out like that. So after that, I'll mark at some point where I want my sleeve to bulge a little bit. Yeah. So I'm going to get one of those pieces and make a template for that bulge on the sleeve. Yeah. So I make it like a circle on that point where I marked. So when you're making this sleeve or when you're cutting on your fabric, put a sewing allowance, because if you don't put a sewing allowance, when you sew it, the sleeve will become small. So you have to put a sewing allowance when you're cutting on the fabric. So that will work as my template for all the other pieces. Yeah. So I will cut all the pieces of the sleeve using that. One thing I'll do, I just had the length up for those that are longer than the one I've used before. Yeah. So that one I'll add up a little bit. So you count how many pieces you want for that sleeve and you cut them all. Yeah. So this tutorial might not be detailed for the sleeve, but if you can pay attention to it, if you don't understand it, you can rewatch it and see what I'm doing. You can play it again, yeah, and see what I did. Then you can pick a leaf. So you count how many pieces of the sleeve you need to make one sleeve. I cut 3 times, which made it 5 pieces per sleeve. Then you must make sure you have 10 pieces to make that the 2 sleeves. So you have to make sure you have the 10 pieces for the 2 sleeves, because each sleeve is 5, and make sure you arrange them in the right order. So you can mark on that paper sleeve you used in the first beginning. You mark this is 1, 2, 3 so that you don't forget which part you're cutting. Yeah. So after finishing, I had to arrange how my sleeve is supposed to be and then sew on a sewing machine. You get your draft of the sleeve you drafted on the paper. You can arrange it like that. You check what part goes next. Yeah. So you have to check which part goes next. Don't just sew, because if you just sew, you will end up messing it up. You keep the sleeve and check which part goes next, then you can use it and sew your sleeve to finish. So now I'm done with my sleeve. I'm going to join it all together. Yeah, so it has 5 pieces. You can make yours 4. Yeah, in fashion you can change something. It's not always that you have to copy exactly the same thing. You can make your pieces 3. It doesn't hurt. Yeah, it's just a matter of changing something. So that's our sleeve. After, I'm going to get my draft and shape it. Yeah, I reshape it a little bit. So I reshaped it like that, and that was for the sleeve. I did the other part. So for this part, this is the rough I'm going to use down. I used a rough of 120 inches wide. Yeah. Is it long or wide? Yeah, it was 12 inches long. But in mathematics, it was 12 inches long wide. Okay, it was that. It was 12 inches going down, and in the width, it was 120 inches. So to make a ruffle, you make 2 straight stitches and get the bobbin thread and pull it like that you see me doing. Get the bobbin thread and pull. If you're using a sewing needle, a hand needle, you can also make a ruffle with it. You do the same process, make a straight stitch and pull like you see me doing. But may I use the sewing machine, I just pull the bobbin thread. That ruffle shall attach it to our dress, as you see. So you pull those 2 threads. Why I make 2 threads? The 2 threads look more beautiful, and if one breaks, you can remain with another. So that's our ruffle. And now we are going to put sleeves on we are going to join the seams of our dress and then put our sleeves. So we shall join our dress. The front and the back part together. So I didn't use a zip on this dress. There was no need for putting zipper. It was somehow free. It wasn't so fitting. So I had to fix my sleeves on. Those are my sleeves. I put them on and I sewed them. I'll not show that. Then I'm going to make the high-low. So I wanted to make this dress a high-low design, so I put my curved ruler and made that high-low. It's high in the back and low. It's high in the front and low in the back. So I cut it out. That's where I'm going to attach my ruffle I made. So when I opened it up like that, I saw it was not so shaped very well down. I had to reshape it in the back. You can see in the back it's a little bit pointed. So I will mark it out again, and You see it's a little bit pointed, so I have to curve it to look good. Yeah, so I had to curve it and cut. So that's where I'm going to attach my ruffle. I'll just attach it around and we are done. And so that was the result. Yeah, and that was our mode of the day. Forgive her, she's like that. But thank you for watching. I love you. Subscribe to this channel. Bye bye.